What is the happening, Panther fans? It is the C3 Postgame podcast, and it is a good moment to be a Panther fan. Today, we celebrate. The Panthers go down to Tampa Bay and prevail. Guys, I'm so happy to be here with you tonight.
Woohoo!
What are you thinking, Joe? Tell us what's up. Say hello.
What's up, Panther Nation? It's your boy, the freaking Puerto Rican, live and in full effect, coming to you from the low country of South Carolina, the Charleston area to be exact. Had a large time over at Southside 17 with the homies in the fan club. Um, Sweating a little bit toward the end of the game, but a win with our backup quarterback and a fantastic defense is a win. I think the D got a little gassed there at the end. That could be because a lot of people, from what I read, were saying at training camp, Spartanburg wasn't as hot as it has been in past years. So maybe their conditioning wasn't quite up to snuff, but we were able to pull the win out. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful that we got the fan club rolling, and I expect nothing but greatness from the team and from this fan club going forward.
Luckily and unfortunately, Joey, I just had Aaron Blue Box the whole time you were talking.
Which is
So
okay.
so they looked at Aaron's beautiful mug and now they're looking at your beautiful mug.
I have a
Glad,
face made for radio anyway.
yeah. Well, actually, I think you look good on camera. So I'm gonna say, like, I think that the camera suits you. I always feel like the camera, like for me. But the point I was gonna get to and say is, before we introduce and talk a little more, everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, check the get involved with the chat button. Um, and even if it's later on YouTube or if it's live, get involved with the chat. And we've got a couple of articles featured on the sidebar that will show up. One by a good friend of the show, Holy City Brewing Company of Charleston, South Carolina. And Joey, you had a good time at Tanger?
I did. I
At
had a
Southside 17 at Tanger, let me be specific.
Yes, I did. I had a very large time. They're always super accommodating. I got there about 3:30ish, and the place was unfreaking believable. It was packed to the gills. It was standing room only watching football. And then at the end of the 1 o'clock games, it died down a little bit, but then we had a second wave of San Francisco fans show up, and a few Cowboy fans scattered in there with some Panther.
Oh, that was disheartening. Okay, well, let me ask. I want to ask Aaron about that because this was a strange opening day to NFL football. I think it was like 8 games at 1 o'clock or more. It was something insane. There was only two 4 o'clock games, and they were both on the same channel.
Right.
So if you did not have direct TV or some sort of access to it, you had to watch what was. I felt like it was bad organization. I thought it was a terrible start to an opening day. Just the logistics of it. Aaron, tell them where you're from and what time of day you watch football.
Well, where I'm from is Charlotte, North Carolina, home of the
Well,
Panthers. But where I live is Las Vegas, right? So I'm out on the West Coast watching games. I got to be honest with you. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. Was watching
holy pregame.
watching the pregame to the pregame on the NFL Network. Watching players enter the stadium. That's one of my favorite things to watch. But the games came on at 10. We didn't come on till 1:30, and it was kind of painful. I like us playing the early games, get us out there.
Sure.
I get all tense, right? The
Me
tension
too.
was building throughout the day. But hey, I live in Vegas. I feel like we're playing with house money because we won with our backup quarterback on the road when even I predicted we were going to lose today. In our staff predictions, I said we're going to go 10-6 this year, but I thought we would start out slow again. Hey, we're playing with house money now, man.
Did you know what my score was on this game? 16-13.
Oh,
Was I on the money or what?
the Puerto Rican Greek. I
And
hear.
I said we would have two turnovers, and we would sack McCown 5 times, causing a fumble. That didn't
Our
quite work
defense,
out
man, our
exactly, but
defense was on point.
yeah, score was
Okay, well,
close.
let's go ahead and get to it then. And I'm going to go ahead and point this out, Joe. I'll let you get into that since you were the closest. You should win the closest score. I had picked, I think I had picked 17. What did I pick on the 17-12? Is what I. Oh, ooh. We have to go back and check the tape on that because it's on Pirate Radio 1250. I'm going to go back and check that. Joey, I want to ask you this, and I'm just going to prompt you with this one statement. Today, the Panthers won their opening game for the first time since 2008 on the road with a backup quarterback against a divisional rival. How does that sound to you, that statement?
Sounds almost unbelievable. All the hype.
And I didn't even caveat that, Joe, with it wasn't as close as the score reflected.
No, I agree with that 100%. I think we dominated that game. Like I said, in the second half, I think we got gassed a little bit, so that gave them a window, and they took that up. They took advantage of that. Um, I think it's really going to shake things up, and I say that because everybody had all these fantastic expectations. Look, I'm going to be right up front with you guys here, and I'm going to say JC De La Torre, or whatever the heck your name is. Let me tell you to shut your mouth because you talk smack like you know what the heck is going on, but you don't. You believe in a 35-year-old journeyman quarterback that's been on 10 different teams at least is going to be the second coming of somebody. Get out of here. Learn football before you start talking trash.
And well done. Joey was upset by it. Oh, look at him. He is fuming, folks. If you get
He's popping out in his head, man.
I'm telling you, that guy had me fired up. All the trash he was talking on Twitter today. God, if I would have been down in Tampa, I would have searched him out and smacked him because he was being an idiot. I can't believe.
What is funny about this is this guy right here, whoever he is, he writes for some Tampa Bay site, like a fan site. And a long time ago, he put out a crazy article, and I wrote a whole article, like an ode to talk to JC Dele Torre. We did a podcast on
Yes,
it
we
forever
did.
ago.
I remember that.
You remember? And I remember it. I said, I think, I told him to ice up. That's right. I gave him the Ice Up of the Week award to JC De La Torre. He might be the first two-time Ice Up champion.
Hey, we played them again December 14th. Maybe we should have him on the podcast before that show.
Hey, that might not be a bad idea.
What's funny about this when people listened is that they didn't see the Twitter feed. Both me and Joey have access to the Twitter feed. So I was like running 90% of this conversation. And then every now and then I would check out this tweet and it was like really mad. And Joey had got in. And that guy was like, probably like, damn, I thought he was kind of playing with me. But now.
He's thinking there's a split personality there.
Yeah. Okay. So. I think this is a good launching point for the discussion. Is old JC De La Torre, who I invited on the podcast. Let's see if he's got the guts to come on and defend himself. What he essentially said was this: is he highlighted, and I saw a good tweet from Panther Nasty highlighting this as well. Is everybody talked about what the Panthers don't have or can't do supposedly, but nobody has talked about what they can do. And this is something I've said about Cam Newton. I mean, this guy, instead of talking about the small little things that he doesn't do perfectly yet, all the greatness he does. And Joey and Aaron today, what I saw was a defense that is going to be relentless if healthy tonight. Aaron, what did you think about our defensive performance?
Man, I tell you, it's been just like we've talked about all off season, all preseason. That front seven is vicious, and I tell you, one guy that stood out to me was Dwan Edwards. Man, that guy he was penetrating that pocket every chance he got.
And he's old too.
Yeah, he's old, but man, he's good. Oldie but a goodie. But the concerns are there. When Josh McCown got time, people got open in the secondary. That's our Achilles heel. Drew Brees would have found a couple of those guys deep. So I think one thing we could have done better was why wasn't Coney Ely active in this game? We need another pass rusher in there to keep folks
Good
free.
question. Very good question, Aaron.
I was reading about that on Black and Blue Review today, guys, and the thought is that with the positions that we needed today, I think, and that we're deep there. I mean, you have Charles Johnson, you have Greg Hardy, and you also have Wes Horton, right?
Right.
And Addison. Is Horton a defensive tackle or end?
Is
He
it?
he, he does both. No. Horton is an end. Horton is an
Yeah.
end. Addison
So
does both.
yeah, so what you got there, I think, is that Ely probably would have been when he was on the field, since he's so young, um, and inexperienced in many ways, is that the time you probably needed him most would be a little. I don't know if it would be the best thing for the team. Um, what then? Well, what do you guys? I mean, what stuck out? I mean, we're just sitting here after the game. Let's just chat it up. Is that, to me, the defense looked kick-ass. I would say surprisingly, how did we run the ball today so well? That was the most surprising aspect to me. Is that we didn't just run the ball. D'Angelo Williams was carving them up, man.
He looked good.
Had 72 yards.
I tell you what I don't like. I don't like some of the plays I saw run for Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, I agree.
He is not the same back as D'Angelo, but they tried to run some of the same plays he would run with D'Angelo. And I understand that you don't want to bring a back in and run a totally different offense because your defense can make adjustments. But he's not that same back. And when you ran those plays, those quick hitters where the running back needs to make a quick move, he just isn't that back. He's let me build up a little bit of steam, let me get moving, and then you can't tackle me kind of runner.
And he catches the ball out of the backfield very well.
Right. And that's something I felt that they could have done a little different. For me, everybody wants to say
They didn't use Tolbert well either.
No,
Should I say? I think that Tolbert is a good player, like everybody says, but I think you have to use him in a very specific manner to feature what he's good at. And Carolina has not figured that out yet, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think there are times when they do, but as a whole, they are still not getting him in the best position to be most productive. There are times when they can, but overall, no, they don't. And I think everybody wants to say Derek Anderson player of the game, and he had a great game, no doubt about it. Personally, for me, the player of the game was Kelvin Benjamin. 6 receptions for 92 yards, and stole a touchdown.
That was the turning point right there.
Yes, agreed.
And to point to that as well, he ran a route wrong, or at least there was a miscommunication between him and Derek Anderson, where I don't know if he held up or was gonna just run straight. What is it when you run towards the middle? It's a post, right?
Any post. Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Like he ran like probably it was a deep ball that cut in towards like the hash marks, and he just ran straight, and that he was wide open. Like it would have been, there was so much. I think if they would have connected on that pass, I mean, you add another 45 yards and another touchdown to those numbers.
Right.
I think this is that, and that's interesting that you brought up that some things you didn't like about the game, because I want to talk a lot about what I didn't like about the game, and some of it's about the Carolina Panthers, some about it's about Tampa Bay. I did not like, and I think this coaching staff today looked amazing, except for like 10% of the time they looked stupid, or maybe not even that much. Is that what the hell? Why did we not run a play with 10 seconds left? Why? I mean, we did. We ran a middle run when we were so hot. Derek Anderson was throwing the ball so well at that point.
I think
we're up 7-0. Why do we not put the foot on the jugular there?
Yeah, he was taking a calculated risk, trying to catch him off guard. Worst case, he takes the field goal. I think that was the thinking. It didn't work.
I think that was conservative Ron Rivera. where
That was, man. I would have tried to run 2 plays and
I
kick a
think
field goal.
what he was worried about was having had gone for it earlier in the game, on that fourth down, and they did convert on the quarterback sneak with Derek Anderson. I think he was worried about pushing his luck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he went conservative longer
But
there
you know
instead
what?
of
If he didn't push his luck at the beginning and go for it on fourth down and us get that touchdown, we'd be having a different conversation.
right. It would be a totally different game.
Riverboat Run won this game by that early call.
Right. I
And
agree. I agree.
Well, I thought that was terrible play calling there. And not only did I not like the play call, but what I want us to start doing is having more confidence in ourselves. That's when we played well last year, when we played to win. But you're on the road. You take. We saw what happens when you go on the road and you settle for field goals with New Orleans last year. Not to compare Tampa Bay to New Orleans, and I understand that you want to make this a defensive game because it's early in the season. And I don't know. I felt like our offense was playing good enough that, like, why not? I mean, Derek Anderson hadn't. He did have some. There was some snap miscommunications
yeah,
Hmm.
that were strange, and it was like continue. There was like three of them. I felt like at the very least.
yeah.
But I don't feel like it was deep enough in the game yet to where he was like worried about Derek Anderson fumbling the ball right there. I thought that was terrible. I thought that, man, Kelvin Benjamin has showed up today, and that, I mean, why not? Why not? Why not try to get 7 points there? And so that upset me. Um, what upset you? Did anything else? Because I've got one other big one I want to talk about. Did anything else upset you guys today?
Yes, the penalty calling or lack thereof, and then
That was on my sheet.
the BS roughing the passer. That was such a
Oh
Hey,
my
clock
hey,
God.
call.
let me put an exclamation point on that, Joey. Did you guys catch at the beginning of the game Doug Martin hugging the
Yes, the
referee?
referee, his
And they
former
said that that
coach.
referee was his high school principal.
Yes, yes.
And
What?
then that's the same referee that calls the roughing the passer call on third down that would have sealed the game.
Yep.
Come on.
And let me add this to that, okay? Rondé Barber, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, calls the game. Okay, that seems a little funky right there, but let's backtrack. And Rondé Barber sat in the Fox meeting with the Panthers and Bucks players, and Derek Anderson and Cam Newton both sat in on that meeting. And Rondé Barber tweets out Derek Anderson sits in meeting, which is unusual because you only have the starting quarterback in there. So
Mhm.
he's already tipping our hand to Bucks fans. So I used to like Rondé Barber, but now I'm no longer a fan of Rondé Barber, and I hope he doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. This is, you know what? One is like a coincidence. Two is a
Right.
coincidence. Three makes this a official conspiracy.
Agreed.
And I saw one point that the ref went by and the kicker gave high fives.
Yeah. What's
Did
up?
you see that? Yeah. They gave each other fives, like "good job" or "thanks, good to see you out here," or something like that. So
Yeah.
this conspiracy we have revealed tonight, and
But
it was clear. Actually, let's talk about the manifestation of that and these specific calls or lack thereof. That is another thing. We had a bullshit roughing the passer. I mean, they
well,
won't even. I mean, it was so weak. Actually, this is
on
that
third down,
I was hanging out with a Bucks fan at his house, and we kind of did it like this: is I went on the road as a Panther fan,
Nice.
and I mean he's CW, friend of the show, so he even said, what do you want him to do?" At that point, you are flying through the air, and you were this close to the quarterback. What could he have done at that point to cease and desist?
Nothing.
It was brutal. And that was third down. It would have been our ball, game over.
Yes, yes.
Game
He
over.
he would have had to literally stop time.
And
He
they
would have had
went on then to score a touchdown.
touchdown. That's right.
That was the thing, is that not only were these flags bullshit, is that they came at very pivotal moments in the game. And another one, what about the lack of the
Holding.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. Don't worry. But
Yeah.
do you remember when Ron Rivera went crazy on the sideline, and he was like, we see Ron Rivera mad for the first time. Like, we're sitting there as Panther fans, like mad at every call, and he's like just getting upset. And but that was when they roughed the passer on us.
Right.
At the end, Derek Anderson, when he threw uh, that pick, the pick that wasn't a pick, the pick that the guy let go through his hands, that would have
Right.
been
Golston. Yeah. Yeah.
oh my God.
Oh,
That was a pass interference play. Because here, go back and look at the tape. What happened is a guy came through and you're like, oh, that was nothing. But a second guy, it's the second guy that hit him that had plenty of time to avoid that tackle. So this was bogus. Aaron, what did you think about these? Did you see what me and Joey saw and a
oh,
bunch of this?
oh,
Every
you
bunch
know,
of holding.
one thing I'm very blessed with is my wife is as big of an NFL fan as I am, and she was jumping up and down, yelling, holding on every play. It was outrageous, the non-calls. But let me turn this script around a little bit. All right, we're up 17-0. All of a sudden, we get a bad call. They go down, score. 2 years ago, what happens? We're in quicksand in this situation, right? And we lose. All of a sudden, we look good. The tide turns, and it's a fait accompli that we're going to lose. Everything goes against us. It's like you're in quicksand. But you know what? Starting last year, we flipped the script on that, and we stopped being in quicksand, and we started controlling our own destiny and winning these close games and stopping the avalanche from falling on us. We did it again today, so I think that's a great sign. Things started turning against us. We turned it around. We showed we can win. We control our own fate. What you
Joe,
think?
go ahead and respond to that. I got a special surprise I'm going to bring in while you do.
Okay. No, I think that speaks volumes to where we were and where we've come. Part of that is experience. The
Yep.
other part of that is personnel.
Yep.
We brought in some veterans, in addition to the young players that we have. And I mean, honest to God, I tweeted this out to JC De La Torre. We are the kings of the South. Until we get beat, we
That's
are the
right.
kings of the South.
Be the man.
And
You got to beat the man.
right, and you better respect us. And that's the problem I have with this whole media issue is nobody's giving us respect. Everybody is disrespecting us because we lost Steve Smith. And yes, Steve Smith is a
God, did
fantastic
he
Panther.
blew up today? Did
Did
he
he have
not?
a
I
big
didn't see
game?
any
I
of it.
didn't see what he did.
He had a
Oh no,
68-yard touchdown.
I didn't see I didn't see any of the play. But he had how many yards? 118 and a touchdown.
Yeah, now I saw it. He wasn't having a great game. He had like 28 yards, and then towards the end of the game, in a key moment, third and long, he picked up a long 78-yard touchdown.
Wow. Wow.
Good.
Okay, okay, because
Typical Steve Smith.
those numbers they did jump up crazy, like real quick in a hurry. All right, I got some more good news. I got two things to say, and I'm going to start it off with this. I think you're right, Aaron, that this is a game that represents us as a team. I don't think we ever looked beat out there today. And 2 years ago, even in the Buffalo game last year,
Hmm.
this
Yep.
we would have looked beat. Ron Rivera would have looked beat, even though he looked tough. Like he's tough and he's cool and calm. He would have shown that sign of like, oh man, my job's on the line. And there is nothing more to me that exemplifies this grit than our kicker beating up your marching band and taking extra practice in between. We've seen the most wonderful tweet going through where my man's out there kicking field goals while they're playing a damn marching band song. And even Get out of my way.
Pushing people out the way, exactly.
Oh, so you love DA now?
No, that was our backup. I mean, that was our place kicker, our field goal kicker. That was Graham
Oh,
Gano.
Gano. It was
Yeah,
Gano.
no,
Graham,
yeah.
our kicker did that mess. So you've got to see that it was out of control. Um, I have another special surprise. He looks like he's getting his graphics already. I'm gonna bring in our boy from Team Boy TV Live, Big Q. You ready to go, Q?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Q, what's happening, my man?
What is good, man? What is good? Hey, listen, are y'all feeling this? You feel that vibe? You feel that? Do you
Oh
feel
yeah.
it?
I feel it,
Do you
man.
feel it? Oh, it's electric, right? It is electric. I'm gonna tell you what I think is the most amazing thing about this whole experience is everything that we went through this summer. Everything that people said, everything that you read on the blogs and on the internet, every video that popped up on YouTube, everything that Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless said, everything they said on NFL Network was completely and utterly false. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
I,
love it.
I I mean,
Absolutely
I
love
mean,
it.
what can you? I mean, you can't say anything, Q, other than this is that our defense looked better. Our
It is.
defense looked better today and maybe it's them not being good, but I don't believe that entirely. We just shut down a team that has 6'6", 5 and 6 players across the board, um, who has a free agent quarterback and this new coach that was supposed to. Man, we were talking to people Q today, and they acted like they were Super Bowl champions. In fact, my man even flashed a Super Bowl ring from like 1985 or whenever they won it
Yeah.
with John
I think it was in 2000, wasn't
it
Yeah,
was.
2000. Yeah.
It was.
it?
Yeah, but it felt like that. I mean, it was. It was the way we beat them up.
Yes.
And I think that the score, if we wouldn't have had all those flags we were just talking about, and the things that were bull crap, a lot of bull crap, and I saw five. I'm not even good at finding this. Joey will tweet me or send me a message and text and be like, he'll see these little things in game better than me. But even I could see these holes.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, these guys were grabbing, and I mean, and I would be too at that point in the game. But we should have really shut them out. I feel like today.
You know, I wanted it really bad. I wanted it so bad.
Me too.
You have no idea how bad I wanted that shutout. I wanted it. I wanted it more than I wanted to win. Because this is the reason why. And let me explain this. Because people would say, "Oh, I was on Twitter. I was like, oh, you heartless bastard. Why would you want to shut out?" You know, this is why I wanted to shut out. I wanted to shut out because of the way people treated the Carolina Panthers going into this game. You know, and I wanted Carolina Panthers to make a statement, which they did, no doubt about it. They made the statement that they wanted to make, but the shutout would have been more definitive in my
Right. I
opinion.
agree.
But it was a good game. It was one of the best Carolina Panthers football games I've seen in a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm surprised that my voice is actually holding up because oh man, me and my daughter, my wife were jumping around. It was fun. It was awesome.
All right,
You
let me
know?
let me jump in and call somebody out real quick. All right, and when I say this with a big amount of respect because I'm calling you out, Coach Tony Dungy,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
big Panther supporter last year.
Yes.
All of a sudden, jumps off the bandwagon just because
Mm-hmm.
we lose Steve Smith. So Tony Dungy, I know you called for the Buccaneers, your former team, to beat us today. You had no faith, and I know Tony Dungy, you are a man of faith.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope the
Joey's feeling
I
good.
hope what you saw today reestablishes your faith in the Carolina Panthers. And I know you have left the the Panthers church, but I am sitting here inviting you back into the congregation, Coach Tony Dungy.
Hey,
You have
hey,
an open
Joey.
invitation to
Hey,
come
Joey. Hey,
back.
Joey. Check this out. Joey, do you want all the people who jumped off the bandwagon, in February? Do you want them to come back, or should we do it the way we're doing it now? Let them stay over there. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel about it. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, I like Coach Tony Dungy personally. I think he's a great man. I
Oh,
think he's
okay.
having a lot of good. So if he wants to come back, I'm okay with that. But JC De La
Okay.
Tour, You better stay the heck off of this show. You better stay the heck off of Twitter until your team can get a win.
He
Oh
is
my
going off.
god! All
He is
right,
going
so
off.
I'm gonna say this too. I want to say, um, for the people that did doubt the Carolina Panthers and like as in the quality of our team going forward. Now I'm gonna say this. You can listen to Pirate 1250 Radio. I actually picked the Bucks to win this game out of part
Mm,
two things. Number
shame
one,
on you.
I know. Number one is prone to slow starts. Number two was not having our starting quarterback, and number three was psychological because I pick a pick'em sheet and I'm a superstitious. I was actually cheering for our team, but the point is,
Tony,
Against us, man.
Tony, can I bring some reality to you real quick? Can I do that? Like only
yeah,
I can. Listen, as a lot of people who know me know, I'm a salesperson, right? And in sales, we have this thing called tangibles, which everybody loves to talk about. They've been talking about all summer. Our lack of wide receivers, our questionable secondary, our reformed offensive line, Cam's injury, all that. Those are tangibles, right?
right?
And then there's the thing we like to go by called intangibles, right? These are things that you can't see with the eye. We're talking about the Carolina's heart, their will to win, the fact that they came out there, with everybody in the world expecting them to get mopped up in Raymond James Stadium to do what they did. That's intangible, man. And you know what? You can't see that on the stat sheet. You can't see that in the injury report. You can't see that on the free agent scouting report. I'm just saying.
You know
you
what?
know.
You started that out by saying you're a salesman, and whatever you just sold me, I'm buying it.
See what I'm saying? See what
I'm sold entirely, and I agree. I think what we saw there today was I don't think we have any, that defense, dude, can be if we put a corner on that defense that was really like a
God.
solid, they would be like the '85 Bears defense.
Yeah. It's
You
funny.
know, I mean,
Tony, it's funny that you say that because I said to somebody tonight, Luke from the Fan Zone, let's give a shout out to them because they hooked us up with a nice t-shirt, one of the brand new dry fit t-shirts that we're going to be giving away in the next couple of weeks at the Charleston area fan club, Panthers fan club. I said to him, if you give us the Seattle secondary, we have the best defense in NFL history.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
oh
No
yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Okay, I got a tweet here earlier asking, and I think I lost it. I think it was from Tammy Carr, and she wanted to know.
He was at the game today, by the way.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep.
Oh, in Tampa Bay, right on. What if we were going to start Derek Anderson or Cam next week?
As funny as it is, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean,
Yes, absolutely.
It's funny.
Well, unless we're thinking the same thing. Are we thinking the same thing? Because look, I was thinking going into this game, I knew that Cam was gonna just like fight everything and just want to play, and I'm kind of glad that he kind of didn't, right? Because I said that if Cam had played, we would have been missing one element of our offense, which is Cam's ability to do what he does. But if Cam had played today, would have been missing that element anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a good look that Derek Anderson, came in, did his game manager thing, and and seeing him perform, I'm thinking, why not have him do it again next week so Cam can get some more rest?
Well, hey,
I'm just saying.
let me ask you this: who is the dirtiest player in the NFL right now? And I'll go on.
Dominican Sue.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking of Dominican too. Yeah.
What's he gonna do next week? The bottom of a pile. He's gonna put a knee right in Cam's ribs.
Yes.
But let me bring this point to you. As nice as that would be if we could start Derek Anderson, this offense that we're getting ready to face is not the Tampa Bay offense.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They do have a proven quarterback. They do have very dangerous receivers across the board. Okay? So I think 17 points is not going to be enough to win next week.
Yep. I think you've got to see that Cam is back in at least 90% healthy before you play him. If he's anything less, go with DA again.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I also feel like
I got to go the other way. I got to say this is that I think we need Cam back on this team as soon as possible. And look, Derek Anderson played a wonderful game today. But here's the thing: is Derek Anderson only occasionally plays wonderful games,
Hmm.
and the rest are going to be just okay. And
And
you know, what I'm saying he played a very exceptional game today. He threw some great passes, two miscommunication, and one that I think Olsen probably should have come up with. We would have given anybody else trash if it touches you in the fingertips that
catch
you
it.
gotta
Right.
Yeah.
gotta catch it.
Yeah.
So he did have a good game. Only he had to have one or two miscues. He threw the ball away, intentional grounding that sucked, and some other things he did. But for the most part, he did play great. But here's the thing: when we were talking about us going into the second half with only 10 seconds left, or us, didn't we settle for a field goal initially? Wasn't our very
Hmm.
first score a field goal, or was it 7-0?
Nope. It was a touchdown.
What did we score first? What was our
It,
first
it,
score?
was, it was a touchdown first.
Touchdown to Olsen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Touchdown first,
Touchdown.
then field goal.
Okay. There was a couple of times that I felt like when we got towards the red zone that all of a sudden our play call, their defense could do more things, particularly against our run game, that they couldn't do if Cam was out there. And what I
Hmm.
You
mean is
know,
he doesn't have to run the ball. He doesn't have to
But
do any of
just the
this these
threat of
things.
him running.
Yeah, like
you
you
know,
can't just load up on the side and know that I think it was the time that they audible to run call or something like that to another side, and it was clear Tampa Bay knew exactly where they were running,
Hmm.
and like
Hmm.
you can just stack it up at that point and try to mop up. And with Cam Newton out there, you can't do that.
Right.
But
I mean,
if
I agree with that.
if 100% Cam Newton's out there, you can't do that. But if an
Right.
80%,
Now,
But at the same time, I'd like to mention that Derek Anderson hadn't played any significant downs at
yeah,
quarterback since like
right.
2012. Is that right?
Yeah, 2011, I think it
Or
was,
maybe
actually.
2011.
Yeah,
So now they have tape on him, and they're going to be
yeah.
studying that tape in Detroit all week. So it's not like he's going to come out and surprise people like he did at Tampa Bay today. I think
Well,
Tampa Bay was surprised at how well he played.
well, this is what I think. I think, I ain't disagreeing with what you guys saying. I just think that I saw the game differently. I saw them showing Tampa exactly what was up. I think the running game did exactly what it was supposed to do. We weren't looking to have. I mean, if we got an explosive play out of D'Angelo, it would have been a plus. But I don't think that's what we were trying to establish. We was trying to establish a 4 to 6 yards per carry average on the running back. And you saw what happened when we got him on the play fake. I'm just saying, like I think that was the game plan. You establish the run, and you hit him over the top with the pass. It worked, and I think if it wasn't for that, and the running backs doing what they were doing, and getting the positive yardages and yardage, and that play fake wouldn't work. And so I don't know. I think as a game manager, Derek Anderson would be perfect because they're not asking for him to do a whole lot. Just go out there and manage the game. And we're not asking for you to throw for 400 yards. We're not asking you to do that. You just manage this run game, do a couple play actions, hit the open man. We win. Easy.
I
Right?
I
you
agree.
know?
I agree with that. I agree with that. And you make it sound like the play calling was vanilla, and it was in
Yes.
some ways that we didn't run complex formations. I didn't see the two tight ends set a lot or anything like
Nope.
that. So we
Mm-mm.
didn't do anything advanced. But here, I disagree on the vanilla aspect. Is that Mike Shula? I felt threw the ball first to set up the run. He
Hmm.
was we played we put Derek Anderson out there and let him pass.
Hmm.
We did
Yeah.
He
not.
had what
I felt
34
like
passing attempts.
yeah, I felt like the offense was more aggressive, and sometimes it's the order of plays that can really determine.
Right.
If you just look at run plays versus pass plays, if like if it's balanced or a run heavy or something like that, is that I felt like there was a couple of times where old Ron Rivera would have thrown the ball, I mean, run the ball, and just tried to get to a better field position or something like that, and they really put Derek Henderson out there to try to get a first down, and
Yep.
that was a lot of faith in him. He played good. He played
He
well.
did.
He
Play
played
really
well.
well.
Aaron, what did you see out of Derek Anderson today, and will he start? How about this? We said should he, but will he start on Sunday against the Lions?
what I saw from somebody who I wasn't expecting. I was expecting some nerves, some jitters, maybe a lot of rust. But he came out. He had command of the offense. He had a few bobbled snaps, a couple little things here and there. But man, his teammates trusted him. He put some good zip on the ball. The offensive line protected for him very well. Um, you know, back in the day, I thought Chris Winkie was a decent quarterback, but the line had no faith in him. They would collapse and he would get crushed. Line has faith in DA. So I thought he played well, and I think if Cam is not at least 90%, I think Ron Rivera is going to say, "Hey, we're playing with house money. We're going to roll one more week."
That defensive front of the Lions scares me a lot. Scares me a lot. And I like the idea of Cam being back there for his mobility and for his escapability. Honest to God, Derek Anderson showed some mobility today. Early in the game, he had that 10-yard run.
First drive.
Yeah, that was very Newton-esque.
264 yards passing. I thought it was pretty good.
You can't ask him to do that week in and week out. And we all know, we're all sitting here talking about this, but we all know we are at our best when we have a healthy Cam Newton.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it.
I agree. It is a question of just how good or how healthy will he be.
Yeah.
But is a 70% Cam better than a 100% Derek Anderson?
I don't think so. I think, with Cam's skill set, he needs to be 100%. If he's not 100%, I just don't trust him. I mean, because too much of the thing that makes him Cam Newton, it won't be there. And he becomes just an average guy. Listen, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I don't know if you paid attention. But I think what Cam's role in the game tonight was huge. People, saying, "Oh, he's sitting on the sidelines." You saw him run out there in that huddle to try to straighten everything out because somebody was making.
Gotten a penalty for that, by the way.
I still loved it.
Legal.
Yes.
Yep. He was very involved. He was way more involved than a normal backup quarterback.
I have to read something to you right now, reported by Black and Blue Review and David Newton. So we've got two verifications on this. Cam Newton did not speak in the post-game press conference because he said he wanted it to be Derek Anderson's night.
Absolutely.
And he has gotten a lot of Panthers fans out there are pointing out that this represents the very thing you guys were just talking about, is that Cam Newton was not – he seems very grown up right now. And this is where, though, I disagree with you guys, and I think he does play against the Lions because I think in some ways this is saying, Derek Anderson, enjoy this moment, brother, because I'm coming in there and taking my job back in 2 seconds, and we're going to show you how to get it. I mean, I don't know, but
this was what me and Ronnie was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were saying how this week, maybe next week if everything go well, or maybe the week after. This was pretty much a job interview for Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson, clearly watching him play tonight, he wants to be a starting quarterback, even though he loves the Panthers. If somebody, like St. Louis right now, they're going through some things. You saw what happened earlier today. They're kind of going through some stuff. And I mean, Derek Anderson, listen, I think Cam is all about pushing him. Hey, listen, go get your shine. Let me heal. You're doing a wonderful job. I'm here for you. If you need me, anything you need from me, just, ask me. I got you. And if you happen to go to St. Louis, I mean, more power to him. I think it's a beautiful thing.
I know.
All right.
There were teams.
Do we trade him?
There were teams that were offering Derek Anderson more money than what we were offering him, but he chose to stay in Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
He chose because he likes it here. His wife, if she didn't have, she's getting ready to have a baby.
No, she already did.
Okay, so there you go. So that was one of the reasons. Now I look at it like, hey, this is football. It is a business. If we can get a third, maybe a fourth round pick for Derek Anderson, sayonara.
Yeah.
Okay, because let's get it.
I don't know.
We got Mike Joe Webb.
We do have Joe Webb. But let's remember this, okay? Next week, we got the Lions, okay? But the week after, a short week, we've got the Steelers coming to town. Okay, so I think Cam needs to play next week just to get at 100% game speed to be ready for the short week that's coming up against the Steelers. That's
Or
something to
would
think
that
about now.
place more pressure on him having to recover from a short week? So
Well,
then
You hold him out.
I think you're right, but I think if you rest him next week and throw him into a game on a short prep week against,
well, would it really be short for him though? Because he's been sitting out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he
You know what I mean?
can
It wouldn't really be short for him.
No, but the rest of the team, it's going to be a short week. So if he's in it with them, I think it would serve him better. Is all I'm saying.
What about this? Is the Steelers aren't very good.
No,
so what if we just tried to play 3 games with Derek Anderson and go 2-1?
See, that's the idea I like, except for the 2-1 part. Because I think Derek Anderson can win.
That would be awesome. But if he won again, you feel like he beat the Bucks. Like maybe he could beat the Steelers. So why not just play up 3 games and then give it in week 4?
I think you can. Again, they're not asking a whole lot from him. You know, his skill set is all they really need is just for him to come in and just manage. That's all. They got the rest of it. The defense played outstanding. The pressure was good. I wanted to see a little bit more. I think we finished with 3 sacks, maybe 4, probably. That's right. 1 interception. I mean, the defense played well. They played well enough. The running backs played. Yeah, the running backs played pretty good. They're not asking a lot from Derek Anderson. I think Cam needs all the rest. Because listen, after that Steelers game, it gets hard for us, right? We
go to Baltimore. So you're telling me you want Cam to come back week 4 against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore?
Absolutely. They got beat in their house today by the Bengals.
Yeah. Right. Who we play in like week 6 or 7, I think.
Right. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So we need Cam then. I would rather use Cam when we need him the most than in these games early. You know, I mean, he would add a lot. He would add a different dimension to the games, and maybe we could score a few more points. But we didn't score a whole lot of points last season. Carolina is not a team like that runs the score up like that. So if you're looking for 37, 38, 28 points, Carolina don't do that. You know what I mean? So I think we actually scored a little bit more than most people thought we were going to score tonight. So,
I want to ask Aaron this, and I'm going to say let's leave the Cam speculation at that, is that Panther Nation is divided over when Cam Newton should come back and if we could squeak by the longer with him or not. And this panel is split on that very well, because I think this is that my final opinion on that is that if you do rest them next week, you might as well rest them 1 more week.
Agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can beat the Steelers easier than you can beat. So it's kind of we'll see next week, and then all of a sudden this is going to domino effect. But I think we got to give the last part of the show, I'm going to you, Aaron, with this, to talk about our defense tonight. And I know we've mentioned it in passing over and over and over throughout the show. It hasn't been dismissed. But instead of us talking 10 minutes about Cam Newton, let's talk about 10 minutes of Luke Kuechly, Starr, K1 Short. Kaysen looked good. Melvin White played well today.
Yeah.
Roman Harper had a big gut-stopping run. And Thomas Deku, whose best play was rough and foul. Yeah. But it was great. Aaron, what did you think about this defense? How good can they be?
Well, hey, don't forget about the Kraken, right? He got a sack. He played well, too. Charles Johnson chasing down the quarterback. I mean, it was a complete team effort. This defense was the word. My fear for this defense is we got a little bit of a bend but don't break mentality, right? I mean, we gave up, I think it was 78 yards rushing. 45 of those came by the fullback when we had them pinned back against the goal.
Right.
Which that was a holding pen. That thing shouldn't have even counted.
Yeah,
well,
we should have had a safety. He was hugging him, dude. All right, okay, go on.
We should have had a safety over there. But we were playing a little bit of bend, don't break. That's our downfall. But the upside is, man, are we resilient? We get after it. When the chips are down, Luke Kuechly rallies the troops. We come in and we make the big play. The biggest difference in our defense now and 2 years ago is our big studs right in the middle, putting pressure right in the quarterback's face.
No doubt about it.
So the sky's the limit, man. We just, as long as we keep improving on the back end. Kaysen looked good today. You didn't hear Melvin White giving up any plays today. So kudos to those guys. I think the sky's the limit, man. I'm excited.
Oh, your boy too picked up the fumble.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the draft, right? I got to give a prop. I got to give props to 2 rookies today: Kelvin Benjamin, player of the game,
Yes.
and then Sticky Wiki, the
Yes.
picked up the game-winning
Play of the game.
play of the game,
Mm-hmm.
That was the play
and
of
player of the game. 2 rookies.
right.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Brilliant.
I think what we saw today was a defense that has the talent of last year, but has a year. And discount that we have a new secondary because that doesn't count because they're not that. I mean, that's just padding for the front seven. Is
Yep.
that this is a
Fodder.
talent? This is a talented, the most talented front seven in the league, and they not only are showing that talent, but they're showcasing that they've been there before. That they have that look, Star K1 Short have 2 years under their belt now. Luke Kuechly is a third-year player, right?
Yep.
Yeah, third year, bro.
Third
Yeah.
year, third-year player. Thomas Davis is a second-year player. That was a bad joke. Is that? I mean, but like, I mean, basically, he's like starting over as a player.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but he brings the veteran mentality. I mean, he just didn't play. I mean, it was just those terrible knee injuries. Not only are we talented, but it's now they're like they've been there. And Luke Kuechly isn't a rookie anymore.
Mm.
And so now he's a captain of a defense that is not his talent is being only showcased, but his play. What about the? I mean, and they showed like, hey, was it Kuechly broke up a big pass play
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
led to a near interception, and then
Yeah.
the other one where Godfrey made that huge play that almost resulted in a touchdown.
Right.
Right.
That didn't because Mike Evans stepped on the back line.
Right. Right.
But
Big
he's a
Look.
rookie.
Big Q,
Yeah.
how well did this defense mesh together today?
They meshed awesomely, and and this is what it's about. And I wasn't in the huddle, so I don't know exactly what the conversation was about. But from what I saw coming across my TV screen, these guys walked out as a unit together, and they said they're going to play for one another. In the fourth quarter, I was like, when we gave the ball back to the Bucks, I was like, I tweeted, I was like, listen, we need that turnover. And the name that I said, come on, Luke. A play later, Luke strips the ball. You know what I mean? So if us as fans can say, if we're looking for a turnover, we calling Luke's name, what do you think the rest of the league is saying?
Yeah.
But the Carolina Panthers came out to establish
Run
the fact
through
that
that
they
guy.
are. You know what I'm saying? They came out to establish the fact that they are the reigning, defending NFC South champions, and it didn't come just through Cam Newton and all of them. It came from this group of defensive players, and they had to let the league know that they ain't going nowhere. We still here.
I
We still
agree.
here.
I
Yes,
agree
sir.
100%. And I think what you've captured so well is the idea is that we got hung up. The media, all of us, all of our focus got hung up over this offseason on the offensive line and receivers. Then it was Cam's health, and it was Benjamin as a draft pick, and is he going to turn
Hmm.
out? Everything was around the offense, offense, offense. And we last night when we were on the round table, we decided our offense is better than
Yes,
last year after all of this.
absolutely,
Our
But
offense
what
was better today.
yeah, but
definitely
what
today.
we didn't talk about is that this defense ain't going nowhere, folks.
That's right.
It is boss. Like we don't have to worry about our defense giving up more than 20 all
That's right.
season. Really, that's
Absolutely.
what our average is going to average 18 points a game, 16 points a game, something like that. It's going to be right in there. I think that 15 points is just asking a lot.
Absolutely.
But like if you average 18 points a game, that's all you give up. You are boss, son. And we saw
Listen,
that we can do that. We can get 15 points a game.
absolutely. And let's check
I
this
thought
out.
they were going to be shut out. Joe,
I did too.
You said they look gassed.
Yeah, I think at the end of the game they were tired because they were trying to put so much heat on McCown. And
Yeah.
they were just tired. I mean, they've been on the field a long time. They've been driving. They had some penalties go against them that helped the Bucks stay on the field. And I think it's early in the season. It was hot and humid. I heard like
Very hot.
110
Yes.
out on
It
the
was very
field.
humid down there.
So if
Yes.
you don't train in those conditions, you're going to get zapped. That's going to take it out of you late. and that was it. Come October, October, November, it won't be as much of a factor. But this
Right.
early in the season, first week of September in Tampa, it's hot, brother. It's
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
And I think that went against us. But we still persevered. We showed that
They got
perseverance.
players leaving though. I think it hurt them more than it did us. They were leaving with.
Oh, absolutely.
You're absolutely right. They were cramping just as badly. They were having
Mhm.
issues
Hey,
with it.
Tony, can I add this?
Yeah.
Can I add this? Listen, the rest of the team, it may be in flux. There's a lot of stuff going on, in just about every other area of the organization, what a team. This defensive core, they had to prove to the fans, to the rest of the team, to the league, to the world, that this core is what make the Carolina Panthers, right? Everybody, Cam is the face, of course. Luke might be a star, but this core is the Carolina Panthers. And so, they had to prove that, and they had to kind of like, they put on a little bit of a show, and it had to be done just to let everybody know what was going on. And the more they got into it and got into their rhythm, the better the offense played. The more Kelvin Benjamin wanted to step up and emulate what he saw Kuechly and all those guys doing. It's a domino effect. A lot of people don't pay that kind of stuff no attention, but that defensive group, they're the core of this team, man. Now, if they had been hurt or somebody had been injured or had broken ribs or something, I'd have been more concerned with that than what's going on with Cam.
My computer's getting ready to die, so I'm gonna say good night, folks. Great game for
It was
the
good seeing you,
Panthers.
Joey.
Gives us something to
All
build
right.
up of. Big Q, good to see you too, brother.
All
All
right.
I know
right.
that.
Well,
Hey,
look, we're about to close up. We only got one more minute, so you go on and jump out, Joe.
Hey
all right.
Tony, let me give an update to fantasy if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right, so got 4 divisions in the C3 Fantasy Football League, right? We got at 128 points. We got Free Gordon in the Mentor League.
I love that name.
Yep.
I'm a big Gordon fan.
And we got the Buzz City Beast Mode also coming in at 128 points. So that's our boy D Rummy online. So he's
Right.
coming through. Now check this name out. Somebody changed their name. I love this one. Gano Winda Folsom.
And he knows when to hold them
Gano Winda Folsom.
and knows when to hold them. Oh.
Exactly.
That's pretty
He's
good.
at 137 points, looking pretty strong. But of course, my opponent is leading the entire league in the Mills League. LaFell drops a lot, coming in at 157 points strong, and still has a player to go.
Wow. I saw a tweet today that said LaFell sucks, and I don't know who would tweet it, but like I don't know why a Panther fan would just tweet that. It was retweeted, so it had gotten a little chain to it. So I wonder if he did something crappy in today's game versus
Well, he did one thing. He dropped a clear. He has the dude hanging all over him, but he dropped the end zone pass. He did.
that was
Tom Brady
wild.
tried him twice. Tom Brady tried him twice, and he didn't catch either one of them.
Oh, LaFell does drop some. That's why your man is winning the fantasy football
That's it.
thing.
That's it.
All right.
Correct.
Okay, so give me all of you guys on our kind of parting segment. Let's just call it out to this. Give me your 3 things that stood out about tonight's game that you want to tell a Panther fan that maybe didn't get to see it or spend time thinking about it. And I'll start with you, Aaron.
Well, number one, Kelvin Benjamin is the real deal. I mean, he
Yes.
went 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, 10-0 is the score. He goes up and just steals the ball from a defensive back. Put us up 17-0. That was a difference in the game. So Kelvin Benjamin, the real deal, and I think he's only going to get better. That's number one. Number two is all the fear about our tackles. Byron Bell, hey, you didn't hear his name at all today, did you? I'm feeling pretty good. That's a pretty good defensive front we faced. You didn't hear our tackles' names at all. So
I don't know if they had a sack today.
They did. They got 2 actually, I think.
They
Jeremy
must-
McCoy got 1, and I forgot who got the
Oh,
other
was
one.
it at the end? It was in all at the end,
Yeah.
right?
It was garbage sacks. Our line played very well, and our running game, man, was looking pretty good. I mean, 73 yards out of DW. Hey, I'll take it all day long. And then the last thing is when things start looking bad for us, we're resilient. It's not a fait accompli that we're going to lose when things start going bad like it was 2 years ago. We've grown up. It's bright, Panther Nation.
All right, Q. 3 things that stood out to you.
3 things. The first thing is that, despite the outlook on our team, people who love this team, they understand. They believe in this team, and that's one of the things that the Carolina Panthers that makes this team special. Like, you have to believe in them. And they go into this game with their back against the wall. They came out with the W in dramatic fashion, just like everybody wanted to see. It was a beautiful thing. The second thing I want to say, just piggyback off Aaron a little bit. Anybody, including you, Tony, anybody who got something bad to say about Kevin Benjamin, go watch the tape.
Wow.
Dude is a monster. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a monster. He's a monster. And the last thing is, I got a chance to see our boy, Steve Smith Sr., do some crazy stuff today. And I got to say, I'm feeling like I was hurt early in the season when they let him go. After seeing what he did today, it kind of made me feel even worse, because this guy can still go 80-yard touchdown pass, look just like the same old Steve Smith. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm going to say. Oh, and another thing is, our roundtable that we did last night, already up at 100 some odd views. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate it so much, man.
Right on.
Actually, that you just hurt my feelings when you said that about Steve Smith, because imagine Steve Smith and Kelvin Benjamin together.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I mean, not only would we have a clear look, Benjamin would still probably be number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that good. Like, I mean, he's that like, he can create. Like, Steve Smith is just kind of, he has to have opportunity at this point in his career.
Right.
But if you give him a number 2 role, which he's a number 3, I think, in Baltimore, if you can take some of that off and you can put him in some ways to succeed, oh my gosh, that would have added a little of that speed that we could have used.
Oh, yes.
Or that it would have made our offense a little more dynamic. So I don't like to think about that, but you wonder if the personality thing again is that had he just become so, I guess, old man get off my yard type attitude, that it was just kind of messing with the juju of the Carolina Panthers in a new place. It's just like, well, this is the new guy and he's gonna do his thing. So I think that's.
He looked real good, though.
I didn't get to see it. I just saw the stat line, so it sounds good. It may sound sad. Here's my one thing. I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm not even gonna do 3 things. And it just comes down to this, folks. You can talk about people like Gerald McCoy. You can talk about mess like Levante David and troll our website, Panther fans. That's y'all's fault more than it is damn Bucks fault. You can talk about all of these players individually in the secondary or something like that maybe discounts the greatness of Carolina's defense. But that is only in your small little corner of the world where you have not recognized the power and the force that comes with Carolina's front 7, and you wouldn't have even known that Mike Mitchell was not on this team today. Nobody even noticed that Captain Munnerlyn was not on this team today. Not that I don't like either of those guys, but what is a testament. It's a testament to the big money, to Luke Kuechly, to Thomas Davis, to Starr, to Dwan. So all y'all mugs better realize we ain't going to be number 2 defensively this year. You're right. We're going to be number 1.
Whoa.
Oh, big, bold prediction.
I hear you.
Hey, listen, you look at the stat line, I think our defensive production was just about as good as Seattle's was Thursday night. I got to go back and look, but I think we're pretty close.
I can't wait to hear. We're going to do a comparison. We're going to get up and talk about it on your show.
That's right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and tell them, everybody, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We've gone over a little bit. We got started a little late. Big Q, thanks for jumping in on the second segment of the show.
No problem, man. No problem at all.
You always bring me back down to earth, which is a good thing, because I get a little, I'm tense. I'm wound tight. That's why I
right. Well, here's the thing. You're a black and white numbers print type of dude. I'm an emotional feelings, momentum type of guy, and that's kind of where we differ. I feel things, and you have to see them. You know what I mean? So
he's the
that's the way that works.
Yeah.
That's right.
All
I'm
right.
calling the professor for nothing.
Tell them where they can get at you and how we can continue this conversation that we got.
So listen, all Panther fans can find the Black and Blue podcast every Wednesday night at 10. When's it? It's a 10 or it's 11. Yes, 11 p.m.
11.
Yes, we push it. It's a little late. Yeah, the Black and Blue podcast is live at 11 p.m. every week, every Wednesday. We also do a Team Boy TV live earlier on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Then we have Team Boy TV game time, which is on Tuesdays at 10. And that kind of thing. So listen, we having a good time right now. TeamBoyTV.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at TeamBoyTV.
Aaron, tell them how they can get at you.
Hey, well, when I'm not sitting here noticing that the Denver Broncos are up 24-0 against Andrew the King and Luck in the first half.
Yes.
Outside of that, you can find me at Panther Drafter on Twitter. I'm always on there, always talking. Hit me up. I follow every single Panther fan that's out there, so hit me up and I'll follow you.
All right. Well, this is the professor from Carolina Cat Chronicles, and this is the C3 postgame podcast where the Carolina Panthers prevailed over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can always check us out on Twitter at cat_chronicles. Download the podcast on iTunes. Just search Cat Chronicles and hit us up on. You can find us at Stitcher. Also, check us out every day for the C3 Fanatics open discussion thread where we post the topic and let us everybody just roll and have a good time. And y'all, tonight, Panther Nation, enjoy this victory. Savor the moment because there will be many more defensive. We will feel this again. And good night.